cuffs are off, man.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust? If you've got some questions about your fantasy squad,
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I get.
What up, world? This is Frank here with Get Right Fantasy Network. We're doing another Monday night overreaction show / waiver wire here. Just got done watching the Chargers and Raider game here. Wow, some crazy antics last minute there, but they had the win on lock. Just all kinds of stuff going on this week, including just so many guys going down. But we're just ending on the doubleheader here on Monday night. I kind of like just a single Monday night game. I don't know guys how you feel about a doubleheader. At least this one wasn't overlapping, and they waited for one game to end before they, got the other game started. I don't like when they're like overlapping and you gotta miss one. It seems like, but yeah. Hey, welcome on to the stream, guys. Thank you for being here. We got follow Rob Thomas is on here saying LFG, and what's up? Good evening again. We got after Ashton Genties, how would you rank these rookie running backs in PPR redraft leagues? Omarion Hampton, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, RJ Harvey, Cam Scattergoo, Facial Tootin, Dylan Sampson. Oh, that's a lot. I'm gonna have to come back to that one. We'll look at who I would be ranking those, but I will give you an answer here in a little bit. Let me take a look at those coming up. I like that question though. We do have our rankings. I'm going to make sure I get mine up this week. I promise over on our website at getrightff.com. The link is in the description as usual. Follow us on our Discord channel here as well as here. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So without further ado, though, let's just get going through here on what the showdown right now. Tonight is going to be the top waiver ads, obviously, but we're going to react to week 2. I'll go over some news and injury recap. Just kind of some overreaction stuff, what's going on. The week 3, basically, honestly, top waiver wire ads by position, 65% rostered or less. We've actually been doing 50% rostered or less, but, that's a good number right there. And to get some live Q&A going towards the end here tonight. I want to kind of go over some here items here, though. What we do on our show here on a weekly basis. Give me a second. So I'm here by myself tonight. I need to do all the background stuff and everything else here. But on Monday nights, we got the waiver wire overreaction, which I'm doing tonight. Tuesdays at 7:30, 10 p.m. Eastern. The extra point with Phil and Kendall sometimes. I think that's Phil's show. And then Wednesday nights, I do the roster management buy, sell, trade. Fridays, they got the Q&A, the sit start for all the games during the weekend. And Mike holds it down on Sunday mornings with the active inactives, last minute active inactives, and doing some daily fantasy. So come check us out. That's our lineup for the weeks here. We got all kinds of things going on. So check out, Kendall with the Fantasy Football Tavern and the Sweet Life pod with Jack and Cody. They're still throwing up some shows here for us. So please like and subscribe and turn on notifications to keep up with all the content here at Get Right Fantasy Network. Descriptions and the links. Let's check it out. Here, don't forget, we got super chats. We do appreciate any support here to the channel. We don't get paid. We do this out of the kindness of the hearts. It's just a labor of love here. Hopefully we get some more guys coming back in. But go ahead and drop a question now, and you should include your league size. the type, if it's PPR scoring, and so we can give you best answer. But now it's time to roll the sleeves up and get our lineups right, heading into week 3 here. That's coming up. I got to update my cheat sheet here. No bye weeks yet. No teams on bye. Next week here, week 3, Thursday night football matchup will be Dolphins and Bills. Dolphins are 0-2. Bills are 2-0. So that should be interesting. That's one of our caveats here. Wanted to mention, Dolphins are just disastrous week 2 loss. Dolphins got blown out by the Indianapolis Colts. Combined disjointed offense and poor defensive showing. That's fueled concerns that the direction season 2 of Taylor Willis Scuttles, throwing 3 interceptions, and the defense generated little pressure, recording a 24.2 pressure rate, which ranked 29th in the league in week 2. So, bunch of woes over there in Dolphins. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get it right with Bills coming over here. So, got to keep an eye on that. Definitely starting all the Bills players, and you got to keep starting. Some of the major guys there with Miami Dolphins. But yeah, it's tough with Tyreek Hill. He did, at least he gave you a decent week this week. So we'll see. Keep an eye on these guys. I don't go too much into that. Kansas City Chiefs 0-2 start. So that's the first time they've gone over 2 since 2014. And some people are talking about they're no longer Super Bowl contenders, but who knows? I mean, they got a lot of injuries out there. Obviously, some of their top wide receivers are down. So let's keep an eye on them. Caleb Williams and the Bears struggling again. Caleb Williams, the second-year quarterback, facing criticism after disappointing performance in week 2 against the Detroit Lions. I mean, the Detroit Lions just blew them up. The Bears collapsed after a strong start, raising the question about Williams and new head coach Ben Johnson. So that's some of the news going on with him and them guys over there. It's just kind of crazy. I don't know the last time I've seen this many teams go 0-2, which I'm going to list here in a second, just to start this season. It's just crazy. Atlanta Falcons, they're doing well. They're exceeding expectations. The defense is going strong start this season. They're ranking second for total yards allowed, 4th in scoring defense, and tied for 3rd in takeaways per game through week 2. So rookie safety Bowman has been the key contributor to the early success, surpassing preseason expectations. So the defense is putting in some good work there. Another guy we got to look at is Minnesota Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy. While early in the career, which was concerning. I mean, he just looks bad. With 6 sacks, 52.4% completion ratio, and 2 interceptions. And you got some key injuries to offensive linemen and receiver Jordan Addison. Suspension is contributing factors, but the struggles are not notable. So we'll see how that goes. I kind of want to just kind of go over here all these teams that are just 0-2 right now this season. Chicago Bears 0-2, Cleveland Browns are 0-2, Miami Dolphins 0-2, the New York Giants are 0-2, New Orleans Saints are 0-2. The Jets are 0-2. Carolina Panthers 0-2. KC, again, I mentioned earlier, 0-2. Tennessee Titans 0-2. And Houston Texans are 0-2. So, wow. There's a lot of stuff going on right there. But we should be looking at that. Keep dropping your questions. I will get you. I do see you on there. Are you DM? Should I trade Quentin Johnson for Aaron Jones? I would not. I would not be trading Quentin Johnson right now for Aaron Jones. I think there's better days ahead for him. And if you can hold him and you can stash him, you'll be doing him good. So hold tight. But I do like Aaron Jones over the Packers. He's doing well. Let's check out these notable injuries. I mean, this is crazy. It's just quarterback after quarterback here, right? Major news, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati. He suffered a turf toe against the Jags this weekend. And will require surgery, so sideline him for at least 3 months, according to ESPN. So Jake Browning is expected to take the start in this place. I'll start mentioning again, going over more of the stats of these guys later on in the top waiver wire ads of the week. So we're going to review those here a little bit more, but I just want to put the whistle a little bit here with those guys on top of that. So not mentioning that, I do need to take a drink. We got Brock Purdy here at 49ers. Mixed week 2, a toe injury as well, considered week to week. Also has a non-throwing shoulder injury. So we're looking at Mac Jones. Mac Jones did get the start in week 2 and pretty absent, so it's another guy you need to be taking a look at. Did not do that bad, so I'll get into his stats as well. Jaden Daniels sustained a knee injury in week 2, lost the Packers, so he's day-to-day with an MRI showing no structural damage, so Marcus Mariota would start if Daniels is unable to play in week 3. So another guy there we got to look at. Justin Fields, the New York Jets. Fields currently in concussion protocol after exiting week 2 game against the Bills. The status for week 3 is uncertain, so we got to keep an eye on that. And J.J. McCarthy, ankle. He got an ankle injury as well. I mentioned his woes going on, and I'll mention the who's coming up with him a little bit further on into the show here. I don't want to give up all the waiver wires right off the bat. I want to give some stats and percentages as ownership on these guys. As we mentioned, 65% ownership on that. But yeah, I got to ask you, who else do you have on there? It just makes me think about that. Who else you got running back room? What's your situation there? Because I do like Aaron Jones, and if you can get Aaron Jones for Christian Johnson, that's not a bad deal, honestly. Think about it more because Aaron Jones is a proven commodity. You're not sure what you're going to get with Jenkins. Running backs here, injuries. Austin Eckler suffered a torn Achilles. He's out for the season. Aaron Jones. Jones is dealing with a hamstring injury. We were just talking about him right here. So, who knows? Let's see what happens here. We got right receivers injured. Jaden Reed, Green Bay Packers. Reed fractures his collarbone against the Commanders and will require surgery, likely returning in November. So he's pretty much done for the season here. He'll be coming in late. Christian Kirk, Houston Texans. Kirk missed the second consecutive game in week 2 with a hamstring injury, so we got to keep an eye on that. I really don't care for hamstring injuries, so it's kind of crazy. I'm looking at the news right now for Keenan Allen just getting another touchdown tonight. Wow, just returned to the other team, gets a touchdown each week, so hopefully keep that streak going. Xavier Worthy still, instead of going for the elective for surgery, he kind of wanted to do the rehab, and he returned to practice limited on Thursday, so he may be available for week 3. Juwan Jennings, he was listed questionable. He did play as well, so you got to keep an eye on that guy. So he's doing pretty good. George Kittle is still out, another San Francisco guy. They're just getting hit by an injury bug. The same thing as last year. It was almost like a next man up, but I don't think it's working out so great. But they are 2-0 this year right now so far. So getting lucky there on those couple wins here. Kittle was placed on injury reserve with a hamstring, forcing him to miss at least 4 games. Brock Bowers here did play, did not practice week Thursday, so he did play tonight. Just not the greatest showing here. I got to look up the numbers for tonight. And also Dallas Goedert missed week 2 with the knee injury. So those are the top guys that we want to mention here as far as injuries. And there's a lot of other guys out there, but those are the major guys we want to kind of go over right now. What do we got here? Let's see. We'll get to the Underdog promo read here. So we'll give you guys, Underdog Fantasy Football here. This is our best place to play some fantasy football over the season here. Use the promo Get Right. No waivers, no trades, no lineups for the best ball tournaments. But right now they do got to play 5 and get 50 in bonus funds. That's for new customers right now. They also got to pick them right now. Gimme Pick and Saquon Barkley. That's what I play a lot right now. So it's right now they do the pick 'em contest. They simply pick higher or lower on player stats like total yards and touchdowns. So check them out. Go to underdog.com, underdogfantasy.com. Type in promo code Get Right. Receive 50% bonus match on your deposit up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Do not exceed $2,000. It's capped at $1,000 bonus cash. And again, we got that promo going on with Saquon Barkley. So check that out right now. We appreciate the support. Some of these guys have been doing that for us, so we appreciate that. Thank you for going in there and typing in our promo. Thank you. So go to underdogfantasy.com. Those are the guys that supported the show. We got Trophy Smack also up here, but I want to change that up here. Let me get our Raider guys going on up here. Underdog, here we go. But yeah, Trophy Specs, another supporter of the channel here as well. Keep coming up with your questions. I'm going to make sure we get to everything at the end here. All right, so I'm going to get into the top waiver wire ads of the week here. We kind of went over the injuries. A lot of quarterbacks going down. So I got a lot of quarterbacks for you this week, to take a look at. Again, I mentioned Joe Burrow going down. Jake Browning got the start in this place, while he was down. 69.9% quarterback rating, 21 to 32, 241 yards, a 7.5 yard average, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 sack, and just 1 rushing yard for 1 yard. So we got to, you got to look at Jake Browning. He's currently next man up for them, but they still need someone else to either serve in the depth or competition for him here. At least the depth is the minimum. I mean, this guy's widely available. Yahoo is 1%, ESPN 0% owned, and Sleeper 0% ownership. So Jake Browning is definitely out there. If you guys had Joe Burrow, you can go handcuff this guy, go pick him up, take him, put him back in there in your lineup. Excuse me. Sorry, the mute button's not easy to get to on this headset. Brock Purdy going out. So we got Mac Jones started in week 2 from Purdy's absence. Mac Jones completed 26 to 39 pass attempts, 279 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also rushing 6 times for 6 yards. And the 49ers 26-21 win over the Saints. In week 2, Yahoo is 3% owned, ESPN 0% and 5% on Sleeper. So Mac Jones is definitely widely available in most leagues. Another guy that is available for you in case you had Brock Purdy. He went down for you. You can just go ahead and pick up Mac Jones and feel confident to start him. Let's see how he does next week. But, I mean, that's a pretty good outing. I guess I mentioned already earlier also Jaden Daniels going down. Marcus Mariota would get the start of Daniels on to play in week 3. Also 0% on ESPN, Yahoo, and Sleeper ownership percentage. Don't have any stats for him, but, again, he's a guy you can look at. If you need a handcuff, I got a couple other guys you can pick up instead of him. So let's take a look at those guys. Also, Justin Fields, if he can't play, Tyrod Taylor would start in this place. Again, another guy's 0 across the board as far as ownership percentages. But we got some better options for you, such as, I hate to say it, Daniel Jones, man. Daniel Jones, 2 good games so far. Completed 23 of 34 passes with 316 yards and a score, while also running 6 times for 2 yards and another score against the Colts in the 29-28 win over the Broncos on Sunday, which is crazy because the Broncos have a very good D, at least last year. We'll take a look at this year how they're doing, but, I mean, they were number 1 defense. Combined 12% ownership, so I'm going to do a combined on Daniel Jones as far as across the board on ESPN, Yahoo, and Sleeper. So widely available for Daniel Jones. Michael Penix Jr., another option here, completed 13 of 21 pass attempts, 135 yards. The 22-6 win over the Minnesota Vikings, 35% owned combined. Also, not as juicy option as Daniel Jones, but hey, another option available. Matthew Stafford, another guy who's out there, completed 23 of 33 passing, 298 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Sunday's 33-19 win over Tennessee Titans, 29% combined ownership, so he's widely available as well. So, again, I'm going over a lot of quarterbacks. The reason being is there's just so many that got hurt. I think for the trade question, I will get you to you here in a second, Bronson. We'll get you soon here. What else got? Trevor Lawrence. He completed 42 passes, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns. On Sunday, 31-27 loss to the Bengals. He's got 41% combined ownership, so he's available as well. So if you had one of these top guys go down, like, Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields, you got the guys like, Daniel Jones, Michael Penix Jr., Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence we're talking about. Geno Smith, he was just in the game tonight. He eclipsed 300 yards passing week 1. But let's see what he does tonight. I don't have all his stats yet. But I think he completed 23 34 passes, 362 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 interception against the Raiders in 2013 win over the Patriots, 20% ownership on that one. But I don't have his numbers for tonight here yet. Let me Let me see if I can get those for you guys here. Probably already updated here. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about this. It's on the fly. Looking up some guys' stats for tonight. And Geno Smith here. No, it's not even up there yet. I don't want to give you the guys the wrong numbers if it's not there. Russell Wilson, I mean, shoot. This guy was throwing the ball over there against Dallas. Dallas still ended up getting the win. But it was crazy for a second. Fired 30 of 41 passes for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns with 1 interception. Adding 23 yards and rushing. So he did lose 40-37 against the Cowboys. Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson led his targets, and Devin Singletary in the mix. He's only 7% combined ownership. Another guy you could take a look at. And lastly, I mentioned J.J. McCarthy with the ankle injury and just basically poor play. Carson Wentz has signed with the Vikings. So another guy maybe, if you're in deep leagues and you need somebody, Carson Wentz may be the guy that you have to pick up for those deep leagues, you know. So it did work out with Minnesota. He'll be back up to J.J. McCarthy. Hopefully maybe he helps, coaches him up and helps him out. That's, you know, that could be helpful for him, right? You know, keep going with the questions. I will get back to you guys. I see another one coming up. We'll follow Rob Thomas. I'll get to you guys here in a minute. Let me get through all these waiver wire pickups here, and we'll do some Q&A here at the end of the show here, towards the end here. Let's go move on to the running backs, man. The running backs here, we got Tyler Gier rushed for a ball 16 times, 76 yards and a touchdown. Sunday's 22-6 win over the Minnesota Vikings, running behind Bijan Robinson. So he's a good handcuff there. Tyler Gier, 36% combined. Robinson, obviously the clear lead back, and he was just moving the ball. I love that guy. I wish I would have had him on my team. I didn't get any pieces in him this year. Jerry McNichols was listed at Commanders RB2. So Washington have listed Jerry McNichols in there. The team number 2 at the week depth chart. So it's kind of moving over above Chris Robinson there. So, you know, got to keep an eye on him, see who's also over there. For the Commanders, and it's kind of rough, you know, over there. He averaged 4.7 yards per carry, started one game. So when he did that, he had carried the ball 7 times for 42 yards and likely continue to rotate throughout the season, seeing 6+ touches in 6 games last year. So keep an eye on him. Tajay Spears, you know, had ankle to miss about 4 games on IR. So, you know, if you want to pick up somebody early, you can get Tajay Spears back before he gets back into the full fold. If that's somebody you're looking for, kind of deep stash. Basil Tootin, another guy here we have with Jacksonville Jaguars, 39.9% owned. As with Jacksonville traded away Tank Bisbee to the Eagles earlier in the week. It paved the way for Tootin's increased role. 8 carries, 42 yards, and 2 receptions, 32 yards, and a touchdown. So keep an eye on Basil Tootin. Again, only 39.9% ownage. And then we got Kenneth Gainwell, Pittsburgh Steelers, 9.9% ownership. He's basically the 2 to Jalen Warren. I mean, it's after, you know, Warren was the Najee Harris and so Gainwell's basically has the Harris role. So Gainwell played 100% of the third down and 2-minute drill snaps, while Warren played more than 50% of the early down, short yardage, and goal line snaps. So if you're looking to handcuff somebody or just get some, you know, flex play possibly, or, you know, just to get another running back there in case Warren does go down, you got Kenneth Gainwell ready to fire it up. So this is basically the wide running backs we got here. Moving into the wide receivers, we got a lot of guys this week. It's just a lot of people that, so many injuries, and just a lot of guys performing well while your other guys are not performing. I got a lot of pieces of this guy, Alec Ayomanor, here, wide receiver, Tennessee, caught 4 of 6 targets, 56 yards, and a touchdown on Sunday's game. 33-19 loss to the Los Angeles Rams, but Tennessee, you know, this guy's he's tied for the most targets on the team. Was able to get a log 46-yard on the day, while he was also scoring the team's lone touchdown. So he's been, you know, doing some decent numbers. If this is the way it's going to work, I got a couple pieces of him. I'm very to have it happen, but he's only a very low ownership percentage. I don't have the number in front of me, but check him out. Take a look at him. Give me a second. Let's see if I can get the numbers for Ellick. He's at only 8% on Yahoo, 4% on ESPN, and probably similar numbers over here on Sleeper as well. So another guy who's widely available, Ellick Ayomanor, a wide receiver, Tennessee. Another guy who's on our thumbnail here is Troy Franklin, Denver Broncos, only 2% owned. He led the Broncos receiving room, and he might end up as the team's top wide receiver over the rest of the season. He caught 8 of 9 targets with 89 yards and a score, so the Broncos lost to the Colts on Sunday, 29-28. So, the Colts are just, 2-0 right now. It's kind of crazy. So he ran once for 11 yards. I'd be definitely looking at Troy Franklin as a top number 1 waiver wire ad right here, along with Ellick Ayomanor. So I'm going to be doing my top 5. I think these 2 guys will be in the top 5. Wan'Dale Robinson did show signing as well, where he got with the New York Giants 29.9% ownership on him. He held in 8 of 10 targets for 142 yards and a touchdown. Again, the loss to the Cowboys, but Russell Wilson seems to be throwing it down there, 14 197 with 1 start and 18 targets. So he's got 14 targets, 170 yards, and 1 touchdown on the start with 18. So Wan'Dale Robinson's getting the numbers in there. Another guy we want to look at is Cedric Tillman, wide receiver of Cleveland. He caught 2 of 7 targets, 22 yards, and a score at the Browns, and they lost 41-17 to the Ravens. So should be better days ahead for him. But obviously, you need to get the top wide receivers over there. I think Tillman's going to be the guy. Dontavian Wicks here with the Green Bay Packers. I actually have 2 guys here with the Green Bay Packers, so I'm positive. Dontavian Wicks, week 2 injury with Jaden Reed opened the door for him, so he got more slot snaps than expanded role. So then in Green Bay, he's been the Green Bay's most productive wideout, leading his team with yards per route run and catching a pass of 5+ yards, 19.4% of his routes, well ahead of the rest of the receiving were held in 4 of 6 targets for 44 yards. Thursday, 27-18 win over Washington Commanders. Romeo Doubs also caught 3 of 5 targets at 28 yards. Thursday, 27-18 win over Washington Commanders. So I think either one of these guys is a viable option. Dontavian Wicks seems to have the most touches, so you might want to lean on him. But I do like Romeo Doubs as well. Low ownership percentage as well. And lastly, we have Kayshon Boutte here in New England Patriots. 6 catches, 103-yard performance. He cut his only target with 16-yard touchdown on a low-volume passing game. But he still led the Patriots, all receivers with routes and snaps. And he's only 26.2% ownership percentage, so you want to take a look at him as well. Let me get a drink here. Anino's joining the group here. What's up, man? How you doing tonight? We'll get a drink here. Yeah, I did get some W's this week. I swear to God, I'm like 50-50 right now. I'll win some, lose some on these weeks. I think I'm doing some of the same things that some of the other guys have been doing. Poor performance guys went on the bench, and then they went off this week when they had a bad week last week. So sometimes you just got to leave the starting lineup alone and start your starters, as I've said in the past. Just stick with your guys, and over the long haul of the season, they do perform. There's a reason why you drafted them. So sometimes you got to stick with your guys here. So let's get into tight ends here. Let's kind of give you guys a heads up on these guys because there are some injuries as well in that room. We got Jawan Johnson for 2nd straight week coming on here. Tight end New Orleans. He's caught 5 of 9 targets for 49 yards and 1 touchdown. Saints 26-21 loss to the 49ers. Again, 18% combined ownership. You got to take a look at him. Harold Fanning again making the appearance again back-to-back. Cleveland Browns tight end caught all 5 of his targets for 48 yards, and the Browns 41-17 lost to the Ravens Sunday. And through 2 weeks, Fanning has caught 12 and 14 targets, 111 yards, and he's outpaced David Njoku both weeks as well. And I was high on David Njoku, but this rookie's coming out and just putting up some good numbers, getting a lot of looks. So we got to be flexible and go ahead and move towards him instead of David Njoku. I think some other guys, people started picking him up because his numbers were lower last week. But if you still need a tight end or you're looking to stream a tight end, he's a tight end option for you, 27.5% ownership combined. Another guy here, tight end Shingo Conco, Tennessee Titans, caught 4 to 6 targets, 35 yards Sunday. Got 9.8% ownership. And here's another honorable mention here for Zach Ertz. Ertz continued to impress with 2 touchdowns in the first 2 games, basically get a touchdown per game. He remains the primary target of Commanders' passing game. So as long as Jaden Daniels is not too injured, he's going to be able to come back and play. You got to look at Zach Ertz at 6'8" and 64 yards on the touchdown. He's at 41% owned on ESPN, 51% on Yahoo, Sleepers 53%. And a stash here coming up in is Isaiah Likely. If you don't have him already, some people may have dropped him because he's injured or whatever, but he's an early healthy stash. If we want to get him stashed now is a good time to go ahead and pick him up and take a look at him. So yeah, quick run down on those guys. And let's see, there we go. Chase Brown or Jamar. I'm going Jamar. I had Chase Brown left a bad taste in my mouth, but it could have been, just this week's play, and it's just unfortunate. Gave me some problems, I hate that, and he's traded Chase for Amon. What do you think? Yeah, the Sun God, take Amon-Ra. Yeah, he's solid. I would definitely trade Chase for Amon-Ra. But I think he's talking Jamar Chase here for the wide receiver. So he's taking Jamar Chase. That's what he threw me off. He's Chase Brown or Jamar. That's what he's asking about. So I'm thinking he's saying Jamar Chase for Amon-Ra. I'd still stick with Chase. I think that was his Amon-Ra's fluke game of the year. You're not going to get that same number again. So I would definitely, stay with your top guy and Jamar Chase, even though, you're going to have a quarterback that's out. Chase Browning did put up decent numbers for him during the season. I forgot the numbers. And I know you guys are going to ask about this, but I forgot to put it in as how he performed with Chase Browning last year. But it was a pretty good number, so I wouldn't stray away from Jamar Chase at this point. Stick with him instead of Amon-Ra. I mean, not that Amon-Ra is a bad choice, quite honestly. Bronson here, he said trade Waddle and Debo for Devontae for Nico and Merritt. I would go for Nico and Merritt, yeah. I'd send Waddle because, Jesus, I'm not sure what's going on over there with the Dolphins. Debo's got some touches, some licks here, and I would keep Devontae. So I'd move Waddle or Debo and take a Nick, go for Nico and Merritt. That's what I would do. I would keep Debo, Devontae Adams, so keep him, but move on Waddle, then Debo, and then, lastly him. So take a look at that one. Follow Rob Thomas. So what percentage of your fab budget are you spending on guys like Josh Allen, DeAndre Swift, RJ Harvey? So what percentage of your budget? Well, Josh Allen, shoot. He's a 15 to 20%er, maybe more. DeAndre Swift, more like 10%. RJ Harvey, a 5%. Brian Thomas Jr. just got injured. Something happened with him. And this is the guillotining. Oh, nice. Just because just poor performance and injury with Brian Thomas Jr., I'm not sure. I'd give him another 5%. RJ Harvey, again, splitting carries, everything's going on over there. But Josh Allen, he's like 25% of your budget. I mean, easily. You got to go get him. DeAndre Swift, he's doing very well. Again, 10%. RJ Harvey's a 5%, and Brian Thomas Jr. is another 5% for right now. I can't move on those guys that much yet. And Nino Pinto said, did a trade myself today. Sent Tyreek and Etienne for Chase Brown and Jacoby Myers. Maybe gave up a lot, but I have CMC already, so can't risk Tyreek problems as well. Yeah, I would have sent Tyreek and Etienne. I like Chase Brown. and Jacoby Myers was doing pretty good. They got intercepted in the end zone right now, but that would have been a touchdown for him. It was being thrown at him. Chase Brown had an off day today. You got to stick with him. You got to wait. See what happens with this whole Bengals injury to Joe Burrows here. But things should be all right. Maybe they'll get more carries this next week. See what happens. But I would move away from Tyreek. So I don't think it's a bad move for you at all. Because you got to sell Tyreek high while he's out there. Get rid of that. Get rid of that clutch that you got to worry about. So Butch Oliver coming in here is do I trade Drake May? I got Allen and Love. So I know 3 quarterbacks really only need 2. I need one running back to help. Any suggestions? Ooh. So you got Allen and Love, so he wants to start Allen and Love. Drake May, he said Derek May, but it's Drake May. Let's see what we got here for running backs here. Let's take a look at some rankings here and maybe kind of give you an idea who we need to be looking at for running back kind of area here that you may be able to get. Obviously, you got to look for the guy who's got some of these, one of these quarterbacks that just recently went down, and offer him a better option than just picking some guy up off the waiver wire, right? So I don't know if anybody is going to be moving off these guys, but maybe the owner of Marion Hampton, rough night tonight. Guys like they're going for see if you can get Javonte Williams. I'm not sure if that guy's going to go move off Javonte Williams. Kenneth Walker III's been having problems. Maybe you could get him. Go after Josh Jacobs. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get him. Again, it just depends on who has what in your league as far as need, right? Because you want to go after the guy who just had his quarterback go down. Then you got this shiny new high-scoring guy that just went off this week and having 2 decent weeks, really. So you want to, go for some of these guys. I don't think you can get higher than that. I mean, nobody in the top 10 is going to drop their guy. You're not going to get a Devon Achane. You might be able to go after Chase Brown after this bad performance, but it's going to be tough. Maybe James Conner, Travis Etienne, around that area. But you got to temper your expectations and really maybe go for Ken Walker, Javonte Williams, Kyron Williams in that area as well. Again, going for the need, but yeah, you got to take a look at those guys. And Etienne does look good, but that was against literally 2 of the worst defenses, and Tootin seemed to be getting some work. That's true. That's the whole thing. Tootin is getting a lot of work. He's a waiver wire ad for me this week, so you want to take a look at that guy. And that you're right. Some players do look good against fast defenses, but once they get tough, it's going to be hard sledding. So I do like your trade, man. Sending Tyreek and Etienne right now. If you get some Chase Brown, Jacoby Myers, I think it's pretty even trade, and you come up on that one. So yeah. Anybody else got any questions, comments, concerns here? Let's bring them up here. I did kind of run through the waiver wire ads pretty quickly today, but I had a lot to cover, and I just wanted to make sure it's late tonight. It was kind of wanted to start after the second game because I was like, who's going to watch me while there's still football on? So kind of had to wait on that. So late start. I did have it scheduled for 9 o'clock, but I moved it to 10 o'clock here. So yeah, let me know if you guys got any questions. If not, we'll call it a night. I am going to put out the short. I got to still work on some things here for Get Right Fantasy Network and get some things going as well. But I'll go review some of the top waiver wire ads here. As far as the top 3s, I'll give you some top 3s on these guys here. So Joe Burrow, we got Jake Browning. Obviously, he started in the game. You got Brock Purdy, so you got Mac Jones going, being the next man up. As far as Jaden Daniels and Justin Fields, I'm not going to go for Marcus Mariota and Tyrod Taylor. I'd rather go for a guy like Daniel Jones, who has been having some decent numbers, so who maybe it was a system over in New York, and Daniel Jones is a decent player, and that sometimes happens. I mean, look at last year with help me out, not even go my team. I traded for him. Because that's what they were calling him this year, saying that he's this year Sam Darnold. That's what it is. This year, Sam Donald, that's what they're calling Daniel Jones, is like, he's just moved to a new team, just, putting up some good numbers. Matthew Stafford's still out there. Trevor Lawrence is still out there. And, if you're feeling lucky, Russell Wilson's also still out there. So some of those guys to pick up. Running back's not that great. You want to stash like guys like Tyjae Spears, Blake Corum, Tyler Algier. They're good handcuff options to stash. But the Tyler Algier just rushed 16 for 76 yards and a touchdown, running behind Bijan. I wouldn't expect those great numbers all the time. Jerry McNichols, again, being named as RB2. Basil Tootin, we were just talking about, again, Jacksonville, since they traded Tank Bisbee away. He might be getting some looks over there. Kenneth Gainwell, another guy to kind of handcuff, be tied up to Jalen Warren. He's kind of playing the opposite role again. The two wide receivers you want to look at is Alec Ayamonor and Troy Franklin. Definitely Troy Franklin on that. Go for him first, and then Alec Ayamonor. Maybe some Wando Robinson, Cedric Tillman, and then looking at the guys over here in Green Bay in Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Doubs. The tight ends are going to be Jawan Johnson and Harold Fanning, with some Zach Ertz sprinkled in there and Chego Conquo. And you want to stash Isaiah Likely if you can right now. So it's kind of running those guys down right now. Let's see, I did a trade at Peter. That's it, basically. No more other questions or answers here for you guys. I do appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Did a quick show. I'm tired. It's a long day, long night type situation. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Check out our shorts. Again, check out during the week rundowns. We're going to be back here Tuesday, tomorrow with the Extra Point. Wednesdays for the roster management buy-sell trade show. Friday, Sit-Star Q&A, and Sundays, active and inactive. And on that note, appreciate you guys being with me. Hit me up on the next one. Peace out.
Wanted to white fantasy is the play. Marking nothing but I